What's up, guys? This is Justin from the Board Game Losers, and I'm here today with an unboxing of finally an amazing product. That's right, today we've got some hot Cloudspire action. That's right, Cloudspire, baby. An amazing game by Chip Theory Games. So I've got the new expansion content that's going to be Horizon's Wrath and the Uprising. That's what these two are. I've got the minis. I've got the Hero Bounty Pack, and then I've got the upgrade box if you have the first edition Cloudspire printing. This was kickstarted a while back. This adds 2 new factions that play very differently from the other factions. And then the second edition printing is some chip fixes and some other things that we'll go into, but I'm super excited to get this recorded so I can get it out of the box that it's in and into the box of Cloudspire, get this baby to the table. So let's go down to the table and check out this new expansion content. Alright, here we're at the table. Lots of content here. So what we're going to be looking at is the Uprising expansion, like I said, the Horizon's Wrath expansion, and then, of course, the miniatures that go with that. We're going to look at the Heroes at Bounty card expansion. Oops, what am I doing over there? Card expansion. And then, of course, this is the upgrade pack. It's a hefty boy for Cloudspire if you have the first edition printing. So this is gonna clear up a lot of things, and I'm really excited to see the sheets in here because they changed the faction sheets into something that I think is going to be super awesome. So I guess probably what we'll start with is going to be the factions. So this is the first faction, called the Uprising. You can see here, what have we got? We've got faction chips, market chips, some new, new sheets, their dice, pretty standard. The cool thing about these guys is that they don't have a lot of, other than their heroes, they don't have a ton of like faction specific, because really their faction is about using the market chips as their fighter. So it really is very dynamic and very different. So let's take a look at them. Now, the interesting part will be, how do I fit all this? How do I fit all this into the base box, right? So, of course, a little bit of art on the inside of the lid. Not a lot, but a little bit. So, here's a huge box for a few chips, but if you know anything about chip theory, you know that's going to fill up pretty quick. So, let's pull that out, set that to the side. Pull out this. So we've got their map, of course. So here's their map. We got the headquarters, covert ops, thieves den, rogue garrison, special research station, reconstruction labs. Cool thing, I bet this is lore-wise, these guys are not up in the air, right? These are on the ground, and they're kind of warping this way to fight all the other factions that are up in the clouds. So that's how they work. So that's pretty cool. We have scenario book, The Uprising War. Now, this is going to have solo scenarios. It's going to have co-op scenarios, campaign, really nice layouts. It's going to kind of tell you the story too, about how these guys work, and some lore and stuff in addition to the game itself. Now, the cool thing about this is, if we look over here, just as a side segue here, one of the things that you could also get is you could get this book. Now, this is volume 2, called Ankar's Plunder. This book takes this faction, these guys, the Uprising, as well as the one that we're going to look at, and it combines, along with a little bit of extra, it combines all of those books into one book, right? Just like the first one combined all of the scenarios from all the factions into one book. So if you like some extra art, you like the lore especially, there's some really good things in here too with AI talents. So it's going to talk about a lot of those talents, so you kind of have a quick go-to with these guys. Maybe some of the new stuff that's coming out. This may be an exhaustive list, actually, because it's several pages long. It's 5 or 6 pages long. So there's some like elfin stuff that's pound. So this is a good resource for looking those up that are not, if you don't have the faction sheets, those come up. So I'll just set that aside for a minute now. This is what I'm not most excited about. This, I think, is a super, super great change from earlier editions. So this is a new format that Chip Theory is using. Is using for their sheets. So before these sheets, you had the format was a little bit different. So this was in a different. This is a different format. Still got the same stuff, right? So this is going to tell you each of your locations. They changed that layout a bit. Fortunately, it does tell you what the expansion symbol there is. That is nice. You don't have to guess. So that's cool. This, and it's not going to be as apparent with these guys as it is with the next ones, but this is what I'm probably the most excited about, because now all of the units that you have are going to be on this side, and these information is so much more accessible, because before it would talk about the units, but it didn't really show them, and like you didn't see both sides of the chips and stuff, and it was just hard to it was just hard to navigate them. I spent a lot of time looking at the chips, trying to compare the chips, and when I could have just had a sheet and then pulled the chips that I wanted. So I'm really excited about this to see how that looks on the other ones. And then here's some talents. Now I think this is level 2, so I think this also, yeah, because like I know recruitable, lookout number. So this is an updated sheet for landmark and AI talents, so they kind of changed that format as well. So now these are easier to find with some headings and just the general layout. Typos, clarifications, all of that my English is amazing, is in this sheet. And you can see they do track the version. So this is version 2.0. So this is a more updated one. Now, we'll see, that may actually also be in the upgrade expansion box, because you could have just got that and not got the new factions. So we'll see. But there's those two guys. Basically, these guys, you have these waygates that you can use that pop up on the map to get your guys up there. Using the market to hire your guys, which is, I think, a really, really cool mechanic, because I like the market, and I think that's a really neat way to use the market. So, of course, we have their die. So there's their die for their different buildings. Awesome dice, of course. Don't know what they mean yet, but they're there. And now we've got the chips, so let's check out the chips. I'm gonna believe it. Okay, here we go. There we go. Success. So they're this white, I say white, it's like this white gray kind of color. So you basically have, you have a couple towers here, it looks like. Yeah. So there's one tower, the Rebel Rouser, or no, that's the rubble rouser. And the other side is a upgrade plan. Although, man, you can put 4 chips on that. That's pretty cool. Then you have your waygate and potentially destroyed waygate. Whoops, destroyed waygate there. Regular waygate. Your hero. Netherut. Your faction chip, of course. There's another waygate. Then a couple militia defenders. So that's basically the only 2 faction chips you have, right? That's the only 3 like unit chips you have. Your hero and 2 other ones. So that's pretty neat. I like it when they do something different like that. I like it. And because they are faction based, this whole next sleeve of chips is all this are market chips. Now, I haven't read enough to know whether these just get mixed in or if this is like a separate stack you pull from. I kind of feel like that's not the case, but you know, we'll see. I kind of hope it's not though, because I just think it would be cool not to have. I mean, look at how many more market chips that is. Adds a lot more. Adds a lot more to it. So it looks like there's all kinds of stuff in here, and I'm just flipping through these. I'll go through all of them, but so we've got some towers. So there's an example of a tower. Twin barrel bunker. We've got units, right? Another unit, Zerker Rebel, Fury, wind turbine. Huh. Wind funnel, that's interesting. Eden, so there's a hero right there. Maybe that's part of their faction. Maybe those are, I don't know, but you can see there's a ton of stuff. We even have equipment, right? So there's source ride boots. We've got climbing gear. We've got proximity mine with explosion. That sounds cool. Breastplate, hidden armor. Just neat stuff. I like it. I'm excited to get these guys out. They probably play. They're different in that they use the militia, but they're probably the most similar, I guess, I would say, I think, to what's out there already. But they're not, when I say similar, I have to be careful with that, because I'm not saying that they don't really add anything to it. They definitely change things up. For sure. They're not similar, so similar that they're not different, but I'm just saying, they're using some existing things like the marketplace, which, like I said, I really think is a neat thing. So we're going to set them up here off to the side. Get this box out of the way, because somehow all this is going to go in the original box, I hope. Maybe not, we'll see. The second faction, Horizon's Wrath. Now these guys, they have some faction chips, but this is what we're really looking at, because these guys, their base, right, their fortress, can actually move in the game. It can switch positions on the map, which is just absolutely insane. So let's get all their stuff out like we did everybody else. Come on. Good deal. set you to the side. So now I got 2 more chip holders. So let's start with a faction map. Oh. So there's a faction map. So you can see this is actually basically a flying fortress is essentially what this is. Super, super cool. Gun deck, hold, crew quarters, gate port, launch bay. That's just so cool. So cool. Cool. Alright, so then we've got their scenario book. Just like the other scenario book. Bing, bang, boom. Tells you a story and gives you endless modes. Wow. Huh. Cool. And then we'll look at their sheet. Yeah, so this is going to be where you can really see how these sheets have changed. Oh, hold on. Was ist das? Talks about the fortress. So this sheet here talks about the fortress rules. So this tells you how you set up the fortress. Some different things it has. The plank is a feature that this has, so how pulling it and restoring it happens. Strategic maneuver. Once per game, the start of your turn, you may reduce your source tracker to 0 to reposition the airship. So that's how you can move it around the board. So good stuff there. So here's their sheet, right? And this is normal. All right, we saw this with the other faction. Not anything, major different, but that's where it's at right there. Because with this, I can look and see all the units. It shows you both sides, right? So this is when they're flipped, what they have on the other side. So they get their cost, source cost, what you get for defeating them, their abilities, all that's listed here. All their unit chips as well as the spires. Just so much easier with this. I love this so much better. So much better. And these guys are interesting because the Swabby, yeah. So there's different ways that everybody promotes, but the way these guys promote is the Swabby. So these guys kind of go on top, and when they get defeated, you may promote one friendly active minion or the newly revealed unit grouped under this one. So they kind of go on top, and then when they get defeated, they get promoted. This is awesome. But I really like this format, right? This feels like it's easier to look at. This lifesaver. This is the only group I think that has a card like that, though. I don't think anybody else has that. So, of course, you got their chips. Oh, that's interesting. They have 2 dice instead of 3. Interesting. Just a bunch of numbers on them, so I don't know. I think maybe one's like a counter for cannonballs, and the other one's probably damage, maybe? That's totally conjecture. Don't hold me to that. So we got... So, yeah, there we go. We've got shadow skiffs. We've got lifeboats. And I think these lifeboats are like, you can use those to like send them out to heal and like put units on them too or something like that. Pretty cool, pretty unique faction. So this is I guess it's their faction ship. It's got a picture of the plank. There's a Captain Tinbeard. Wow, 7 health. He's a beefy boy. There we go. There we are. Cool. Cool. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Oh, wait, no. I guess this is our faction chip? Maybe that other one's for the plank when you put the plank out. I bet that's what it is. So that's our faction chip. There's powder monkeys, gunners, swabbies. Excuse me. So that is all of their chips. That is the 2 new factions. So we got some good stuff there. Leave all that over there because ultimately, when this is over, I'm going to put it back in the box. Minis. Okay, so this is totally optional, but if you love Cloudspire, you might as well get it. These are the miniatures for the spires for the 2 factions, the 2 new factions. And both are in one box. So we've got this like this walled tree spire deal. Although looking at it, let's see how these things sit. It's weird because the way it's built, it's like leaning this way. If you look at it like this, or like, see how that looks like it's leaning, but it actually sits flat. And I guess this is leaning. Yeah, that's leaning so that it is. Oh, that's interesting. So that's theirs, and that white color. A little bit of everything in it, right? Some trees, some stonework. Interesting. And then, obviously, it's got to be Horizon's Wrath, or their airships. So you got these, get the rigging on them, little engine thruster things going on there, and kind of an odd bottom though. Oh, you see, this is all balloon, and then that's the little, I guess, raft. It's kind of weird, to be honest, but hey, they work. I don't know if I'm going to paint these or not. I haven't painted the other ones, but I keep seeing, and that's all there is in this box. I did check the bottom. There's nothing hidden underneath in the cavity. So, I don't know if I'm going to paint these or not. I've considered it, painting all of them, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth it or not. I mean, they're all different colors, distinct molds, so it's not really necessary, I guess. Anyway, next thing we look at here is Bounty. So this is a card expansion, faction agnostic, I believe, but this is going to add some additional events. So I mean, I say the faction agnostic. There are faction. The pictures, obviously, and kind of the theme behind the cards is definitely going to have to do with some of the new stuff, right? Like this cutlass, that's clearly a pirate theme. But you could get this, and you could add this in, and even if you didn't have these expansions, and that would be perfectly fine. So, ton of new ones, ton of events. Gosh, how many are there in here? 1, 2, does it say? That's not going to be on the back of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 21, 22, 30, 21, 26, 27, 20. It looks like 35. Wow. Oh, are they all relics? Oh, sorry. So there's a handful of relics and a handful of events. So there's a few events. There's actually significantly more relics than there are events. That's interesting. That's cool. They do have, I'm noticing on the bottom, it's interesting. They do have some of them have this. It's got like these two different icons. I wonder. Can you hold it? No. I was gonna say, I wonder if that is like a. Huh. So maybe some of these are. I don't know. I'm not sure why those are on there. Aurora only. Huh. Uprising only, Shadow only, Aurora only, Greed only. Oh. So these are like, are these like a. Huh. Oh, so these are like specific things that are an advantage to a specific faction, and each one of these factions can use it, or there's like a secondary. Wow, glide bomb deals 3 damage instead of 2. That is brutal. Wow. Resurrection. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Definitely going to be adding those in. No doubt, 100%. So, quick look here at the book. We've already kind of looked at this, but we'll look at it again. So, Incar's Plunder, like I said, it's all the other stuff that's in the other 2 books. Solo stuff and co-op. Tells a story. Got your setup. Got a lot of good art. And so if you want some art, if you like the art, a lot of that in there. It's just nice to have this all in one book, just to be honest with you. I like that. I have the other one. It's a cool piece to have just to sit out, but it's just nice to have it all in one book. And I mean, if nothing else, you could always take the other book, right, and have that for other players to look at, and you essentially have 2 copies, so you don't have to pass the 1 copy around. Okay, final piece here, I believe. Yes, because the other stuff I got was just like extra health and some more dice trays. So this is the upgrade pack. So this is going to update Cloudspire to the most recent version. So let's take a look at what all's in here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to set this to the side. So I see a bunch of chips here. I'm going to assume that those are, yeah, there's Darwin. So there's going to be updates to the chips. We got some cards, some more cards. I'm assuming those are, yeah, because I'm seeing the icons there. So this is updates to existing cards. We've got, what is this? The rule book, okay. Rule book 2.0. So this book has been reworked. It's got a lot more examples. It's just been reworked really from the ground up completely. Lots of examples of movement, different things in here, so which is great, because The other rule book, I mean, I don't think that it was bad, but it was just kind of hard to navigate sometimes. And this is also new too, this rules reference. So, very similar to, for example, what I've got that I compare this to is like Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, where you have the rule book, and then you have like a learn to play book, but then you also have this rules reference, which is just like this book with all the keywords, all the rules that really go into detail about it, and that's what they've done with this. I mean, yeah, it is 2 different books, but I think it works much better because it separates it out and it makes it for an easier reference that you can pass around the table, where somebody can look at this list, and it's got a quick reference on the back here, which is actually the same one as on the rule book. So you got 2 of these, and somebody can look at that and be using that while you're either looking up a rule because you're not sure, or you're looking up a keyword because, you know, somebody wants to know what a card does. They also updated the scenario book. This is the Greed scenario book. Maybe that wasn't out, but maybe this wasn't out in the you had to get the other book for it. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so this tells you everything that's out there. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So this is going to give you base game contents, a rulebook, rules reference, 2 scenario books. Oh, because there's another one here. Yeah, Portal Seekers. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to. This is cool. I like this. So this is telling you exactly what to do to replace everything. What replaces what. I'm seeing here full set of replacement cards. So like all the cards you have just go away, and these replace them in totality. Chip replacement. Just giving you an example, or not an example, telling you exactly what you need to do that. So we have new chips. Some of these chips are not that there was anything wrong with the other chips, but I know, for example, well, it looks like that's got an actual extra keyword. I think there was just some clarification, like some chips that didn't have a number. It was just like if it was a 1, they just had the ability. They didn't have a number. They've gone back and they've printed. I wish that wasn't a good example. I don't see a good example. Anyway, they've reprinted some of that. Also, awesome is they have taken all of the existing factions and converted their sheets to these similar style sheets where you've got their setup and then you have all the units, which is amazing. That is such a better format. Gosh, that is so much better. Not that Chip Theory was bad before. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that there was bad before, but this is a far superior, in my opinion, way to do this. So, and here is, so this is that rules reference that I was talking about. So you'll actually have, with the update pack, you get this. You see it's got the 2.0 right there. So you're going to get this rules reference, landmark and market talents. You're going to get that. So you have 2 of those copies, which is cool. And then every existing faction will have a sheet that's got their chips, units, and all the same content that was there before, just an easier to read, easier to find, easier to digest format. So there's updated sheets, updated solo scenarios. So before, and again, there's a book just like this, Volume 1, from the original base game. So that book would entail this solo scenario set and this cooperative scenario set. Now these are for the original 4 factions. All their solo stuff, all their cooperative stuff. And then the Grige had their own book, right, that had both. And then you could get the other book like this that had everybody's in it. I can't remember if it had Grige or not. But good stuff. Super excited about the update. Haven't played this in a while. I need to bring it out and get it to hit the table. This is one that I don't get to play often. I like it. I'm not going to tell you that it is my favorite chip theory game. Too Many Bones is still one that I would be much more likely to pull out and much more likely to play. But having said that, these guys make top-notch, great games. If you like Fortress type games where you're defending it, Dota type MOBA style stuff, this is definitely going to be one you like. So let me go back to the top, give you my last little bit of final thoughts, I guess, and then then when I'm done, I get to sort and replace all the stuff from the update box, which is going to be awesome. Alright, so that is the new content for Cloudspire from Chip Theory Games. If you don't have this game, you definitely need to check it out. See if it's something that you like. As with all Chip Theory games, it's just over the top. Quality's amazing. Content is amazing. The mechanics, super. I mean, it's just top notch all the way around. Not cheap to get into, necessarily, but worth it if you do. So check them out. They've got several other titles. Hoplomachus, which is being replaced by Victorium, is coming. I'm looking over here to see other than Too Many Bones. They've got Triplock. They've got the Game to Pick a Game, which is pretty funny in and of itself. But yeah, I think that's everything for this update. I hope you enjoy this. Hopefully this gave you some information about what's out there. Help you make a decision on whether you want to get this content or not. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. I am Justin from the Board Game Losers. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. I am Justin from the Board Game Losers. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.